I love this town for a lot of reasons. I like the seasons, not maybe right now. I think we got a good beer scene. Think we got beautiful food scene. And I just love Cleveland. One of the things I love is the fan base because we're smart at times. And when you talk about Browns fans, everybody's got an opinion on the quarterback. You could be the most novice of fans, which I really don't think novice Browns fans exist. If you're in it, you have an opinion on the quarterback, whether the quarterback that plays here currently, the one that is your starting quarterback, or where we're at right now when it comes to the NFL draft. Parsing through Senior Bowl tape, watching NFL Network, you start to get your opinion on what you want the Browns to do with quarterback. At this point, it seems like, yeah, you got a high pick in a draft that doesn't have all the best quarterbacks out there. Doesn't matter. You still got your opinion on the quarterback, don't you? And you know what you want the Browns to do, but now it's becoming harder. It's getting a little more shady. It's getting a little more dark on what the Browns should do. We're going to try to talk through all that and figure out exactly what the Browns should do with their quarterback situation. Andrew Berry speaking about Myles Garrett. We'll talk some Cavs. Nice win Thursday night. They're taking on the Hawks as we're doing the show later on tonight, so we'll talk about that. All-Stars coming up. Adam Silver's idea to fix the NBA. We'll sprinkle in the grid. We'll get you going right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. So happy to have you alongside here on our weekly edition of the Fontana Show. Check us out on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow. I'm at Matt Fontana 83. Ryan is at Ryan Tyler 33. We're up on YouTube, Big Play. Follow the Instagram channel and download the Big Play app. I sent the tweet out. You can win a chance to go to Vegas. We got something rolling. You can check out my Twitter. I'll retweet it too today. But check it out. Big Play. Download the app for your chance to win a trip to go to Las Vegas, which is awesome. We'll tell you more about that coming up. Presented by our great friends at Fairway Ford. And we love our friends at Garage Beer. Appreciate their support as always. Senior Bowl going on. Ryan, how much of this Senior Bowl have you watched? Have you sat down and watched the practice watched the one-on-ones?
I've decided to let the Twitter gurus do that.
There's a lot of those out there.
Absorb my information. So apparently Jalen Milroe's garbage.
Not good, I guess.
What I'm getting from the Twitter streets. That's not my opinion. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we get towards this process, which is like, it's crazy. Like AFC, NFC Championship done. We're off to the Super Bowl now. It's going to go rocket fast here. We're going to be at the Combine before we even know it. And the Browns are going through this process. And Dale Ryder had a great tweet from 92. And he goes, everything at this point, 90% of the job of a general manager is done. They've scouted the tape. They've talked to coaches. They go back and talk to high school coaches. They go talk to their AP English teacher to see what these kids were like in class. All that is done. This point of the Senior Bowl, the Combine, and all these interviews, it's confirmation bias. You are searching to confirm what you think you already know about all of these prospects. Now, the situation the Browns are in right now, you need a quarterback. Everybody wants them to draft a quarterback. And the argument is on about what you're going to do and who you're going to take. And as this process goes on, it's interesting that I feel like Shedeur Sanders is falling. I know he didn't play at the Shrine Bowl. He was there. Dion was there. The Dion is his dad thing is back on the forefront. And Andrew Berry said this week that's not really a problem. Of course he would say that. But this important decision, which will again change the direction of the franchise. Whether you draft your franchise guy and he turns out to be a good player, we're off in this direction. Whether you miss on potentially the second overall pick, I got a mock I want to get to here in a second, and you set yourself even further off into this direction. You have a high pick in the NFL draft. The whole point of having that is meant to improve your team and more often than not, draft your franchise quarterback. The unfortunate roll of the dice, you don't have a class this year that even if the first guy goes one, there's no Jane Daniels, there's no Bo Nix. And that's been such a statement this week. Well, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Moore, they'd be like QB 6-7 in last year's draft. And you're talking about what might shape up to be one of the better quarterback drafts that we've ever seen. It's 1 year in, but those guys did a lot last year. You expect Caleb Williams to turn around. You think Drake May is going to be good. So comparing it to a really, really good class, that never bothers me. And a lot of this conversation, It's a lot easier said than done. I don't care. I don't care that these guys would be QB 6 in this other draft. Find me a franchise quarterback. It's the hardest thing to do, right? So much of it comes back to the system that you're going to put these guys in. It comes back to finding what did they do in college that you can translate to the pros. What are the things that they do? These guys have flaws. You ask yourself, what flaws can I accept? What are some of the flaws that I can fix or we can work around that? Some of those are non-starters, I think. If you're an inaccurate quarterback, I don't think you fix that. Josh Allen, like another word, right? That Ryan's shaking his head like that was one of the biggest ones, right? I saw a stat from John Costco, right? Not the store, the other guy. And he had a stat about how bad Jalen Milroe's accuracy was down the field. Then he listed 4 other guys that had worse accuracy. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and God, I wanted to be like hang on, I got to pull this up. Because there's a really interesting tweet from John as you sit there and you think about evaluating specifically Jalen Milroe, which I want to talk about him for here in a second, right? Here it is. Of the Senior Bowl quarterbacks, Jalen Milroe had a 33% uncatchable inaccurate rate on throws more than 5 yards down the field. So on throws more than 5 yards, which isn't very much, 33% of the time, 1/3 of the time, it was an uncatchable inaccurate throw. Here are 3 guys in college that were actually worse than him. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. They obviously fixed it. They obviously turned it around. So you got to look at these guys and say, what flaws can we fix? Footwork, I think, can be fixed. Accuracy, I don't know. So that's where I continue to come back to what's something you can't teach? Height, arm strength. I keep coming back to Cam Ward. And that's where I've been on this. I'm not going to get off of this. If Cam Ward is there at 2, you do not think twice. You do not trade back. You go up there, you put that damn card in, and we're done here. You bring Cam Ward in, and you got to coach him up. That's it. Now, the fear is he's going to go number 1. Then I will open the door to trade back, try to get Mason Graham, play all those other games. All this stuff that is going on, Ryan. Yes. Am I in on Jalen Milroe? No. I just... You're not trading back up into the first round. I really do not think that they are going to give up future assets to move up in a bad draft. GMs, you say, you don't ever move up in a bad draft. You don't do that. And this draft might not be the best. So I don't think they're going to move back up to Jalen Milroe. And at this point, all the scuttlebutt is Milroe ain't getting out of the first round. Wash your hands of it. It's okay. It's all right. And I know the Browns need a quarterback, and I want a quarterback, but I also can't just shoehorn this in. And this is different, Ryan, than how I felt earlier in the offseason, where I was like, take a quarterback. You need one. You got to have one. Go get one. I am now of the mindset, if it's not Cam Ward, don't even waste your time. And that's not saying if you want to go get Will Howard in the 3rd round, Jackson Dart ain't going to be there beyond 33, I think. I'm not real big on Jackson Dart either. You want to go draft somebody later, sure, fine. Turn your attention over to Kirk Cousins. You see Matt Stafford? He's going to have to get a deal done with the Rams. They might take that out. Just throwing it out there, just saying. You might have to go get your bridge guy and go do this again. And then that's painful, and I don't like that, and I don't want that. I'm putting all my effort towards, if Cam Ward doesn't go 1, which I think he's going to, you take him at 2. He goes 1, you take Mason Graham, take Abdul Carter, take Travis Hunter, don't screw this up, and we move on forward. That's where it is. And I'm not victim of the moment here. I'm not sitting here saying I've watched practice at the Senior Bowl and instantly think, well, Jalen Milroe's not going to. I was never really in on Jalen Milroe. I know he's a physical specimen. He's fast. He's got a rocket arm. If he is inaccurate, I don't know how you fix that. I don't. And again, from John's list, Hurts was inaccurate. Allen was inaccurate. That also comes back to the other side of this. Whoever you bring in here, you have got to coach them up. And I know Stefanski said this week, hey, we won with a lot of different quarterbacks here, and the system, they're going back to the Stefanski system. What does he like to do? Under center and run play action. Start looking at which of these guys do that. Figure that out. Stefanski needs to be involved in this. Ryan, I'm done with Jalen Milroe. I don't want Jackson Dart. I'm out on Shedeur Sanders. It's Cam Ward or bust for me, and it always has been.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about transferable skills to the NFL, when these GMs are drafting these guys, they look at a potential ceiling, right? Like, there's a reason Anthony Richardson just last year went 4. It wasn't necessarily because he was perfectly polished. It's because you saw the ceiling, the unteachable traits, the height, the weight, the speed. And that's what makes quarterbacks in the NFL, the elite ones, great. The Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons. They extend plays, they improvise, they make magic out of something. When a pocket collapses, it doesn't mean necessarily the play's over. And I think that's the difference when you see like a quarterback like we know Baker Mayfield well in here. Very accurate, but the thing is, when you talk about that elite ceiling, well, it's not going to quite be with a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, right? And I think Cam Ward would be QB1 for me as well. Obviously, 2 is way too early for a guy like Jalen Milroe. I'm coming around to Shador.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I think if you can get for sure an Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, trade back, get a 3rd round, like I guess Will Howard. I'm not a big Will Howard guy myself.
Yeah.
But then it is what it is. Like, yeah, you need a quarterback and it's nice, but you can't just magically snap your fingers and make a franchise quarterback appear out of nowhere.
The knock on Cam Ward, which I get, is, the unscripted superhero type of plays. Did you watch the AFC Championship game? You see these guys make these incredible. Now, you got to play within a system, and you've got to make the right reads and make the right throws. But I still need some of that razzle over there.
And even a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who, yes, he's not known for his legs as in terms of like a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, but why do NFL scouts grade him as the best scrambler? Because he still has that ability. He's smart, and he can still improvise.
Right, and that's what I like about Cam Ward. I like his release. I like his arm strength. There's some questions about reading defense, which, again, some people would say that's not a transferable skill. Like, that's not something you could teach. If you can't read defense, you can't do it. But that's the other thing. No matter who they take, if it is Cam Ward, if they really do fall in love with Shador Sanders, which I'm not feeling that right now, you still have got to coach these guys up. And I'm ready to make the statement here, too. Whoever they take's not starting week 1. I don't want them starting week 1. If they have that much work to do, you better bring in Kirk Cousins. You better bring back now CBS correspondent Jameis Winston. Good for Jameis. Love that. Like, bring one of these guys back. Or no, Fox. It's on Fox, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's on Fox. Sorry. Fox correspondent and friend of ours, Jameis Winston. Bring him back and let him start 5 games and let them ease this quarterback back in. There's no magic pill. That's the whole argument of why we're where we're at today. There is no slam dunk, easy, week 1 starter. They're going to take you places. And that's what sucks. We finally got this high pick. We finally got our picks back. And you don't have the slam dunk. That's where you're going to have to default to whether or not you trust Andrew Berry. No choice. You're going to have to look at him and say, you got to make the right decision for this franchise moving forward.
The only gripe I have with that narrative is nobody knows what these quarterbacks are going to be. You can go back in last year, and yeah, you had Caleb Williams, who you thought was going to be a for sure slam dunk, and he very well could be. Jaden Daniels was a very high polished prospect, Heisman winner. Of course, he was going to be good. Nobody expected this level of good, but he had expectations. Bo Nix exceeded expectations, but you go back to the draft with Trevor Lawrence. So far, okay.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, Trey Lance,
right.
Mac Jones, all garbage.
Right.
That was supposed to be one of the most.
Mac Jones keeps coming back up for the Browns.
That was supposed to be one of the most coveted quarterback classes in a while. Yep. You never know, and it's all yes.
That is what. So, where did they go? What did they do? Trevor Lawrence. I'm not saying he got past the Urban debacle. It got through Doug Peterson. I'm sure Liam Cohen was awkward ass Duval will fix things up down the Duval. Wow. Those guys feel like they have to do that in press conferences.
Hey, he redeemed himself, though. I saw him dapping up the players, and he looked like a chill guy.
All right, good. He's just a chill dude. I don't know what to tell you. Awful Announcing did a winning the press conference article, and they talked about Hugh Jackson. Like, everybody thought Hugh won won the press conference and all that. It's so awkward. You're right. It's all about you take a guy, it's not just that they walk in the door and Kevin Stefanski kick his feet up and go, yeah, take us to the playoffs, man. You still got to coach these guys up. You still got to fix it. So I'm going to take a guy that I think has the most upside, and I think that's Cam Ward. It's Cam Ward. I want to just say this. It's going to be negative, and I don't mean it to be that way. People are hyping on Jalen Milroe because there's nobody else right now. Shador didn't play in the Shrine game. Cam Ward's sitting home till the combine. He's the only guy out there. That's it. And that is why he's under the microscope right now. And there's 2 schools of thought. There are people pumping him up. There's people saying he's trash. And I don't think it's either one of those. I do think he's somewhere in the middle. He's got transferable skills. I think he can be good. But why is he in this situation? Because he's the only one to talk about. That's it. And just remember, during this silly season as it goes, You're going to have to wade through some of this of just, he's the only guy to talk about. Let's get to the combine and see how Cam Ward does. Let's get to the combine and see how Shedeur Sanders does. And then maybe we'll have a better conversation on the whole thing. Not done with the Browns. Andrew Berry's talking to reporters down there at Mobile about Myles Garrett and what he wouldn't trade him for. We'll talk about all that next. I want to talk about Fairway Ford, though. You need that new vehicle. Now is the time to go. You see right there, the New Year's savings are on. The Broncos are up to $15,000 off. I doubt highly that you're going to snap a decision and say, today's the day I'm buying a car. Usually you search around. Just add fairwayfordohio.com to your website, to your search list. Just add it. And you will see the over 100 Broncos available. Maybe you're thinking an F-150, or maybe you're thinking that Explorer. Go see them at Fairway Ford. It's a short drive out there to Canfield, and it's well worth it to potentially save yourself thousands, tens of thousands of dollars off of that vehicle. I bring this up from time to time, Ryan. Maybe somebody out there, you got a son or daughter that's going to be heading off to school. And before you know it, they're going to need a ride. Here's what you do. This is the parent special. You give them your old ride, and you go to Fairway Ford and get yourself a new one right out there. They got it all. They have a great pre-owned selection as well. You've been getting through it. Like, even my car, it's like I'm sitting there like, man, I'd like a little upgrade there. I'd like that little upgrade. See what they can do, and they will be able to take your trade, too. They are really awesome at giving you fair value for any trade-ins. Get that money off. Get yourself in that new ride in 2025, and do it with our friends at Fairway Ford. Over 20 years, family-owned and operated, an extremely veteran sales staff, an amazing service department, and I'll tell you this, they'll make you a deal. They make deals out there. They're not sitting there just holding on, my precious, every little car they got. They're willing to make deals. They're willing to get vehicles off their lot because they want to help you out. That's what they do at Fairway Ford. It's worth the drive, but start your search online. Fairwayfordohio.com. That is fairwayfordohio.com. You can search by color, model, make is Ford. They got everything else. They got it all for you at fairwayfordohio.com. All right, more Browns to talk. We'll do it next. Stay with us. Fontana Show, right here in Big Play. Two first-round picks for Myles Garrett, not enough for Andrew Berry. That's the right call. Welcome back, Fontana Show, right here on Big Play. Download the brand-new Big Play app for your chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. It's up there. We're on YouTube at Big Play, Instagram, and at Matt Fontana Show. He's Ryan Tyler. I'm, of course, Matt Fontana. So this week, down in Mobile, Andrew Berry's sitting there, and he talked to Mary Kay Cabot, Zach Jackson, The Athletic, and they brought up Myles Garrett. And the hypothetical was this. If he was sitting at a restaurant, everybody talks about Indy, Ryan, about St. Elmo's. It's a famous steakhouse in Indianapolis. I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody said they make their whole year just on the combine because every single NFL person wants to go to St. Elmo's. They have a very famous cocktail sauce for their shrimp that you can actually buy in stores. And everybody, when they descend on Indianapolis, they have to go to St. Elmo's. I don't know the restaurant in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. But the idea to Andrew Berry was this. Somebody sits down, they offer you 2 first-round picks. Would you do that with Myles Garrett? Andrew Berry said no. And it goes back to his end-of-season press conference when he said, we're assuming Myles is going to walk right out of Cleveland, right down to Canton. They're not trying to get rid of him. Good. Andrew Berry has drawn that line. And he said, we're not trading him, right? And I don't think there's a world that you're getting more than 2. And he basically just shut this down. Usually you don't want that from a general manager. You want GMs go, well, I'd pick up the phone for anybody, or you got to listen to every deal. This is one that I was so happy to hear from Andrew Berry. He, in essence, completely shut down the idea of them absolutely trading Myles Garrett. That sends a couple of messages. One, that sends a message to Myles. Hey, man, we're going to get you this contract. I didn't say this, but, we assume you're going to get that contract extension done, but also buckle up. We're going to fix this. We know it's not good right now. You're a cornerstone piece here. We need you here. We're not getting rid of you. So just go ahead and exit that. Let that exit from your mind. But it's also saying something to the fan base. When the chips are down, when people are calling for jobs and you're upset, that's a little message to the fan base to say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not, again, whether or not he gets fired after this year, I don't know. But that was a position of strength, in my opinion, from Andrew Berry, to say, we're not even entertaining, this is not even a thing. So they can move forward and they'll get this extension done and really be able to quiet this down. Because, Ryan, I brought this up and I sent this tweet on. It pissed off a lot of people. Where I said, what do you think Myles Garrett looks when he sees Saquon Barkley doing what he's doing? Everybody goes, the situations are completely different. Yes, I'm well aware the Giants made an idiotic move to pay Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley, and they basically discarded Saquon. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is still, in essence, the truth. A star player wasting his prime years on a bad football team. Look, do you think Saquon does whatever the money might have been? You think he'd sacrifice a couple $1 million to do what he did in an NFC championship game to go to the Super Bowl? And a lot of people, it's just so easy for a star player just to leave a team and go play on a Super Bowl contending team. I never said it was that easy. But it just makes your mind wander about a guy like Myles saying, I'm wasting my time here. Unless this team really within 3 years can get a quarterback to take us back to the playoffs, you have wasted Myles Garrett's career. And I know he'll get a contract and he will probably sign it to be the highest paid defensive player in football. And money is great, but some of these guys is not everything. And he might sign it now under the guise of, in a couple of years, if this doesn't work, then you better do right by me and go and let me go, if that's in Myles' mindset. The thing is, this whole situation is not about the Browns being done with Myles. It's about Myles being done with the Browns. He is that level. And I'll tell you this, he's the only player on this team that is to this level, where if he really wanted to move on, you have to let him go. And you have to prove it to him that we've got the right plan in place to find the quarterback to fix this mess. You owe it to him. You owe it to the fans. You owe it to all of us. I get it. But I thought it was a good start for Barry to say, we're going to shut this down. We're not even going to entertain anything like this. That's a little message to Myles to say, you're not going anywhere, man. You better just, I don't say fall in line here, but hey, this is where we're at. You got to give us our chance to fix this. You're under contract. We're going to get you a new contract. I appreciated hearing that from Andrew Berry, and I think it needed to be said.
I don't think Andrew Berry would have traded Myles Garrett regardless, but let's not pretend that he had a choice here, right?
Sure.
Because next season you go 3-14 again. Andrew Berry, see ya, you're on the first bus out of Berea. So there was no option. He wasn't going to trade his best defensive player because he knows he needs him to secure his job for next year.
Right.
And like I said, I don't think he would have traded him regardless. It's not like Myles is he on the back nine of his career? Probably, but in terms of
he's just making the turn. I would hope he's on like 11.
Yes, in terms of decline, it's not. It's nowhere near warranting a trade.
He's still, a defensive player of the year finalist, right?
But Andrew Berry had no choice in this. Of course, he says that.
No, and right. What else is he going to say? Right, we're open to this. We're doing that. You're right. There's really no other way to handle it but to make it that emphatic. To be like, yeah, we're shutting this down. We have other things we need to focus on. And that's where you can't get wrapped up in this Myles stuff. You got to focus in on this quarterback thing. And you got to get this right, let alone all the other decisions, all the other pieces on this team. And the quick turnaround is possible. As hard as it is with thinking you need all of this stuff, you can do a quick turnaround. You got to go find maybe your Jaden Daniels, and that's a hard thing to do. But you see these teams, the NFL is truly built that you can turn it around super fast. And that's what I think we're all hoping for. You just got to draft the right guy. You got to give that belief back to Denzel Ward, back to Myles Garrett, back to the fan base. But you can do it. Don't forget that. Right now, everybody's on pins and needles, breaking down quarterbacks and feeling upset about free agency and the cap and Watson and all sorts of stuff. Hold on, that you can turn it around. It's a big ask. And you're going to need the right moves, but you can do it. And that's what they're going to have to sell to Myles Garrett. But it starts with, it starts with a non-starter. The non-starter is, we're not doing this. And you can't. The message that it would send to the fan base, the draft picks that Andrew Berry would have got for the other guy that's going to take his job, it ain't worth it. There's no part of that is worth it. And I think it's the right move from the Browns as they move forward. And at least you can, and it also sends a message to that locker room, right? We're not packing up. We're not closing shop here. We're soldiering forward. Joe Bitonio, hopefully he comes back. He's in a good spot. He's healthier than he's been. That sends that little message like, we need these people back to try to build this team back up, and it is very possible to do. Cavs built it back up. What a win. Nice. Beat that Miami flu. Now, we're on Thursday night. They're playing the Hawks tonight. Want to talk all-star and also trade deadline. Bobby Marks has his little primer out for all the teams on what they're going to do. Trade deadline is literally around the corner. We'll talk some Cavs. We'll do it next. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. All-Star game around the corner coming for the Cavs. Now, we recorded this show Thursday morning, and the All-Star reserves are coming out. So Ryan and I get to do our little projection, and then you get to instantly judge if we got it right or wrong. Welcome back. Yeah, isn't that always fun? Got to keep a scoreboard. Got to keep a scoreboard, except for that damn grid. Can we get that today?
Yeah, we will.
We've gone the weekly show now. We've missed it 3 weeks in a row, 2 weeks in a row now. We'll get to the grid coming up in a second.
Just two.
That's all right. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. Instagram's Big Play. Also on YouTube, Big Play. And download that Big Play after your chance to go to Vegas. All right, All-Star ballot. Reserves will be announced Thursday night. I go over to Tim Bontemps, ESPN. Here are his Eastern Conference reserves. So you know the starters. Brunson, Mitchell, Giannis, Tatum, Cat. Right? Those are the starters.
Yes.
Here are his reserves. Guard, Darius Garland, Cleveland Cavaliers. Cade Cunningham, Detroit Pistons.
Do I get a guess?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
How many more guards are there, though?
That's it. 2 reserve guards. There are 3 forwards and then 2 wild cards. So who are the 3 reserve forwards?
Because I was about to say he must be a wild card. Tyrese Maxey's got to be in there.
No.
That's a snub.
That is a snub.
That's a snub.
I agree with that.
That's crazy.
Forwards.
That boy's nice.
Jaylen Brown, Pascal Siakam. Okay. Evan Mobley, Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, again, people are watching this thinking that these are actually it. Yeah. No, this is just Tim Bontemps' pick. His 2 wild cards, Dame Lillard, and we just saw him, Tyler Hero.
Yeah, he's having a good year.
He's having a solid year. That would be 3 for the Cavs. I think at this point, the ship has sailed on Jared Allen making the All-Star game. I was worried about Evan Mobley being injured and how much, but he's back. He had a double-double against the Heat. He's looking good. I think that's fine. You get the 3. I think you deserve that. At least 3. You are the number 1 team in the NBA. I mean, go back and forth with the Thunder. You're the best team in the East by 6 games. You deserve 3 All-Stars. I think those are the 3, and I'd love that to play it out from Tim Bontemps. Anything? I mean, again, we're doing it in the morning, so we'll see how it plays out. Do you feel like Garland and Mobley are locks? They're going to make the All-Star team?
I think Mobley will be a lock just because
I think
of the
he
leap
is too.
He took this year. I think Darius is less of a lock. I mean, he very well deserved, but I mean, we know how the All-Star game is. Like, it's not. It's. I understand the reserves that they pick, but there's still a propaganda-ish type of feel to the All-Star game, as there is in every major sport. So I think Evan's a lock for sure, especially because there's a lot of guards in the East.
Yeah.
But I'd say they get 3.
So here's the write-up from Bontemps on the forward. He goes, Mobley locked into the front court, or he said the first reserve spot. 7 players off the board. There's a plethora of great guards. The choice came down to, he said, Jaylen Brown and Siakam, who made it, and he said Jarrett Allen. He also said OG Anunoby, and then, of course, he said Jalen Johnson, who, of course, unfortunately now is out for the season. Had torn labrum for the Hawks. So he basically said for 3 spots, he had Mobley, Brown, Siakam, and Jarrett Allen. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, and if you want to play the team card of like, hey, this guy's already on the team, so we're going to go to another team, what this team means, that's sure, fine. And I ain't going to get all hooked up on All-Star nods. I think they're important. I just want the respect for the Cavs. I think as this season has gone on, we're through that 3-game losing streak, which, you know, again, depending on how they play against the Hawks tonight, I think it's a couple of things. They're tired. They're beat. They're ready for a break. But also, these injuries are now just impacting the rotation in a lot of ways. Now, Ty Jerome went off the other night, and I like seeing Jalen Tyson get some starts and get some play here. I think you're missing Dean Wade on the defensive side of the basketball more than anything. He's 6'9", and can defend the perimeter. That's what you're missing. He can splash at 3 from time to time. And you know my professed love for Karis LeVert. You're missing him too. But it's just, you're missing these rotations. Now, they did the right thing by sitting Garland down, getting some rest. I'm assuming he's going to play tonight against the Hawks. Maybe somebody else sits. I don't know. Mobley's through the injury. I never raised concern about that 3-game losing streak. Here's the other crazy thing. I think they're going to have another 3-game losing streak at some point in the season, too. What you want to do, stack these wins, get that gap between the Celtics. The only goal at this point is to keep that number 1 seed. I want to go wire to freaking wire as the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. When's the last time that has happened in the NBA?
For the Cavs?
No, I mean, just in general, that from day 1 of the season, I know teams were like 1-0 or 2-0 and things like that. Literally, from the start of the season to the end, when's the last time somebody's gone wire? I don't know. I'll have to Google that in a break and figure it out. But that's the only interest that I have for the Cavs right now. And they're also playing a little bit of a different brand of basketball. Their 3-point shooting kind of went away, which is fine. You're feeding it down low to Mobley and Allen, but I think it's also that change of what you've had to do with changing your lineups. You're asking different things out of Max Strus. They're finding ways to win, which I love, which is great. And I hope they get this win against the Hawks. I'd love to do a parlay, but the game's going right now, so it'd be a little hard for everybody to watch and put a parlay together. But I like where the Cavs are at right now, and I do look at it and I say the All-Star does mean something to me because I want that respect for the Cavs. I think I'm going to lock that in. I think Mobley makes it. I think Garland makes it. I think Donovan Mitchell's your starter. 3, I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, All-Star trade deadline coming up, I should say. So where are the Cavs at? And Bobby Marks put his tiers out, not those tiers, of teams on what they're going to do come trade deadline. He said watching the bottom line is tier 3, and that's where he put the Cavaliers. The sense is, and I think what Bobby's getting here, you're not making some superstar trade. I saw somebody propose a Kevin Durant trade.
To Cleveland? No thanks.
You would give up Jared Allen. Oh, my gosh. Karis LeVert. One other guy, and your unprotected 2031 first-round pick.
I mean, nobody gives crap about a pick, but...
I thought about it.
I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. I thought about it. It was just like, and the Suns think they're going somewhere, so I don't think they're going to. That was proposed by somebody.
You need the defense in the postseason.
I agree.
KD's not playing defense.
So the Cavs are not going to be making this big splash type move, which I don't think is the right call here. They're going to be watching the bottom line, which means buyout candidates, or Bobby Marks does one trade here. And it's all about the luxury tax. I know the luxury tax in the NBA, it's a convoluted thing. The Cavs are only on $1.9 million over the luxury tax. And there's also what's called a repeater tax. So what you want to do, I mean, the easiest way I can describe this, right? If you're close to the luxury tax, get out of it. If you are that close to shedding $1.9 million in your luxury tax, they're only 4.5 over it next year. Get under it, because it also impacts who you can get on the buyout market. If you're in the luxury tax, you cannot sign a buyout player who made more than the mid-level exception of $14 million. So you remember when like Russell Westbrook got bought out and he had some huge-ass number? You cannot sign him because you're in the luxury tax. So the whole idea of this trade from Bobby Marks is this. You pick up Cody Martin from the Hornets, small forward, you give them Isaac Okoro. You make the money work, you get back underneath, and Isaac Okoro's hurt right now. You just make that move. I bring it up just to say this. Those are the types of moves that you're looking to do, which is fine. Because I've said it before. I'm fine riding this team out. I like how they're built. I hope we go win a championship. But I don't need to change anything. I'm fine with where we're at. So we'll see. And the trade deadline is a little different because we've had big moves in the past. You're a solid team. You don't need to touch anything. Get healthy. Get your rest. That's all that matters. Speaking of rest, Adam Silver. Trying to fix the NBA, I think he's trying to apply a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. We'll talk about it next. Stay with us. All right, NBA ratings are down. They're freaking out. What are you going to do? Shorten the games, says Adam Silver. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Appreciate you joining us. So Adam Silver was on the Dan Patrick Show, and he was asked about just kind of the state of the NBA, or they're kicking the tires on some ideas. We're going to play the clip courtesy of the Dan Patrick Show. Here's Adam Silver talking about an idea for the NBA.
And I'm probably in a minority. As we get more involved in global basketball, the NBA is the only league that plays 48 minutes. And I am a fan of 4 10-minute quarters. I'm not sure that many others are. I mean, putting aside what it means for records and things like that, I think that a 2-hour format for a game is more consistent with sort of modern television habits. I don't think people in arenas aren't asking us to shorten the game, but I think as a television program, being 2 hours, that's Olympic basketball is 2 hours. College basketball, of course, is
yeah. But if you like it, I'd say it has kind of a little bit of a push there.
Yeah, but it's such a dramatic change to the game. I mean, I think something like that would have to be talked more about.
What is Dan wearing? It looks like he's about to walk on the construction site after his morning coffee and smoke break and start yelling at the apprentices.
Looks like Yoshi.
It looks like the Hivis. Hey, you're running that pipe wrong. Damn it. I told you to run that wire. Sit there yelling at all the apprentices. Looks like he's a foreman on the job. So Adam Silver is trying to apply a solution of shorten the games to fix the TV product. Adam, that doesn't work. Do you know what fixes the TV product? Good basketball. Star players playing. Now, I get into arguments about rest and load management because not all load management is the same, right? Do you want to know why everybody's bitching about Joel Embiid, who's missed 400 career games now? Is that not the number?
He should be exiled.
They're pissed because the 76ers suck. Not all load management is created the same. And I get the whole idea started with you and I pay our money to go down to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse to go watch. Who's your favorite player?
I guess it's got to be the Spider.
No, off the Cavs.
Oh.
Off the Cavs. Off the Cavs. Sorry. Jalen Brunson.
Domantas Sabonis.
You're a big Sabonis guy. The boner. Sorry. And you're like, man, we're going to go see him. And, oh, wait, he's not going to play tonight. Oh, is he hurt? Nah, he's just going to sit down. You paid your hard-earned money. We parked our car. We got our beers, and we're going to sit down, and you don't get to watch Sabonis play.
Boo.
Boo. That's where the load management stuff started. And I think it's flimsy. I'd rather see these guys play. But it all comes back to, I don't give a damn about the Cavs' load management because they're good, because they're winning. So let's set that aside for a second. TV ratings are down. Why? When you have a league right now that has star power, you've got to go back to the brand of basketball you're watching. And it's just them jacking threes up all day. It's them. And it's not even these teams that shoot it all that well. It's just the stats tell you, shoot a bunch of threes, you're better off doing that.
Yeah, and just another...
Is that not the problem?
It is, and just another wild thought. I don't know, maybe make it not nearly impossible to watch these games.
No, that streaming and cord cutting is 100% a part of that too. And I think about, I am an above average NBA casual fan. So, on Thursday night, I know the Cavs are playing the Hawks, but usually that's the marquee game on TNT, right? And then you got your games that I know NBC will pick up and all that. And I will sit down and I will watch a game, right? But, shortening the games doesn't fix anything for me. Fix the basketball.
Yeah, that's a solution that works for the Major League Baseball, not NBA.
Right, and that was cutting wasted time in baseball.
Yeah.
You're talking about actual action on the court. How about you start cutting out some of the replays? How about you start cutting out, why don't you start the games on time? Why do they never, for 12 minutes, start at 7 or 7:30 or when you're supposed to? The TV rating problem is not a time problem. It's a basketball problem. The issue is Adam Silver can only control so much. He can't go to the leagues and go, you know what, we're going to put a mandate. You can only shoot 23s a game. Wouldn't that be interesting? About when you want to shoot your threes?
I was just
see a guy have the ball and go, wait, step inside of the line. Wait, he steps up and takes a shot. He can't change how the game is played. Shortening the game does nothing. And I get that they're freaking out because they're caring very much. What do you say? It's a global game. It's the TV. You want to start changing your league just for TV viewers, you are going to die. That league is going to continue to fall. And I think even now people are all talking about the NFL ratings down. They're like, are you sports fatigued out? I'm not, because obviously I just love sports. But it's two things. It's accessibility, number one. It's when can I watch it? What do I have to pay? And number two, the brand of basketball I'm watching. When I look at all these teams, are there really marquee matchups you sit down and I can't miss?
No.
What was the last game you said that? The Thunder and the Cavs.
Yeah, literally.
The Celtics and the Thunder. You just have such a divide of the haves and the have-nots. That's what's killing your TV ratings. Don't nobody want to watch the Hawks play. Nobody cares about what the Toronto Raptors are doing or the Pacers. Or you have a select 6 teams. I really think, I'm going to list the 6 for it. The Cavs, the Thunder, the Knicks. Like, are the Bucks even on that list, Ryan? Are the Bucks a team you're like, I got to sit down and watch the Milwaukee Bucks tonight? The Lakers will always be on that list. I think the Mavericks should be on that list, but it's hard. The Rockets, all of a sudden, I think, are starting to get on that list. Yeah, you get my point? There's such a small group of teams that you sit down and you go, I need to watch that team play. That's your problem. Shortening the game does nothing. It's like that. It's like the corporate world, which I know you've not spent a lot of time in. And there's a problem. And you sit down, and there's people that are watching this, and you're going to think of somebody at your work, some guy or some lady at your work, and you go, okay, we got this problem. Someone goes, I got an idea. And everybody in the room goes, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, but you just want your solution picked so the bosses look at you and smile. You go, oh, I got this great idea. And you go, that solves none of our problems, but I just want to be known. I just wanted to raise my hand. I just wanted to get it out there. Everybody out there thought of somebody, didn't they? Oh, yeah. I'm going to think of some things, Ryan. We got to get, come on. Grid. It is that time. We'll do it next. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. All right, we got a fly immaculate grid time. If you're new to the show, first off, welcome. We appreciate you. At Matt Fontana Show on Twitter. We used to do this every day. Now we just do it once a week, so we got to get it. Immaculate grid. Let's go, Ryan. So here's what you got to do. A player for every team, 1,000-yard receiver, they have to play at least one regular season game. Go!
All right, 1,000-yard receiving for the Rams.
I would say Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Or Puka.
Falcons, Julio Jones. I don't think
Roddy
he played
White.
for the Jags.
Yeah, Julio. Another guy I always thought for some reason was going to make his way to the Cleveland Browns, Julio Jones. Never did.
Andre Mr. Johnson.
That would be it.
He didn't play for Jacksonville.
No, he went to like Tennessee for a year after. I think that was it. All right, Clay Matthews there. The younger one, yes. What is screaming to me about the Falcons and the Packers? Oh, Brett Favre. He started in Atlanta.
He did?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Mr. Favre?
Yeah, he got drafted in Atlanta.
I didn't know that.
Then he went to Green Bay. That is correct. There you go.
Why are they pulling this young buck picture up for him?
I don't know. I don't know.
They did that.
Because the most recent pictures are mugshots. All right.
Levi, real comfortable.
He was not
jeans.
charged. Or actually, he was. I think he was.
Green Bay and the Texans. Running backs, Aaron Jones, no. Carlos Hyde, no. Jack Foreman, no.
No. I want to say DB. Something's screaming DB to me.
Clinton Dix? I don't think so.
No. Old friend Demarius Randall, I don't think works. Matt Schaub, I don't think so.
Cody Kessler?
No. All right, we can push off that one. Nothing's coming straight to mind.
Want to go to
All right,
Jalen Ramsey?
Jalen Ramsey, yes. All right, mentioned Carlos
Jelani.
Jelani. I'm thinking of Delaney Walker.
Oh, there's something screaming here.
Yeah. Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That'll play.
That'll do.
Okay, what's screaming at me right here?
I want to say Carlos Hyde, but I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, rip it.
I'm almost positive.
We're short on time. Go ahead and rip it.
What are you thinking he's not on?
I don't think he played for the Texans.
I think
All right, go ahead. I'm fine with it.
I don't want to get this wrong.
No, it's fine. I don't have another good guess.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're
overthinking.
Good. All right. Okay. It's not Laramie Tunsil. It's obviously not J.J. Watt. It's not Jimmy Graham. I don't want to go kicker punter this early. Deshaun Kaiser, I don't think so.
Oh, that's what I meant when I said Cody Kessler.
Yeah, Deshaun Kaiser. But all right, Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't think so. No, man.
Should we start spamming players?
Brandon Cooks, no.
Yeah, I thought about that. No.
Yeah.
Equinemius St. Brown.
No.
Where did Robert Tonyan go? Did you go to the Bears?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because obviously the Texans got Dalton Schultz from Dallas. But yeah, it's not big play Bob.
Lamar Miller, I don't think he ever played for Green Bay.
No, that's a good pull. No.
Any tight ends?
That I could think of.
Benny Testaverde, Matt Schaub,
Favre, Rodgers,
Mike Glennon.
I don't think so. Shoot. J.K. Scott was the punter up in Green Bay. I don't think he ever went down there. Shane Leckler, I don't think ever went to Green Bay. I feel like it's got to be a kicker, right? There's got to be another one.
Man.
What about like Bubba Franks? I don't think so. Offensive lineman? Man. Donald Driver.
Greg Jennings.
Jennings.
Shoot.
Jordy Nelson.
What's Richard Rodgers?
He was the tight end. We don't come up with something else. I don't know. Dude, and I feel like we've always gotten down to like one here in the last one.
That's the way she goes. Man, there's
like Shady McCoy never played in Green Bay. Yeah, man.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
That's the law firm. Yeah. I don't think so. Eddie Lacy ate himself out of the league. Remember that guy?
Of course they did.
Yeah.
You might have to rip something.
I know. Best guess.
Richard Rodgers.
Yeah, go ahead. It's the best we got, man.
What?
I hate it.
There's going to be something
that
we're just like...
That's how it always goes.
Oh, Richard Rodgers. Whatever, man. Who cares?
Damn. Go ahead.
Randall Cobb. Corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Corn on the cob. 0 for 3.
Hate it. Don't hate the show, though. Be back right after this. Stay with us.
Oh, good lordy.
All right, welcome back. You excited for the Pro Bowl this weekend, Ryan? Yeah.
Oh,
dude, they are
thrilled.
down to 8th freaking alternates. Let it go. And I know they don't play the game anymore, and Myles broke his toe going over an obstacle course and all that kind of stuff. Just let it go. Make it just an honor. I know Verizon has paid a lot of money for it or something, but the Browns did get Joel Bitonio to go. The only thing I wanted to bring up real quick about the Pro Bowl is this. Do you think that should factor in for a guy like Joel Bitonio? Like when he gets a seat at camp, and it's going to be a discussion. I'm not saying he's going to go.
Absolutely not.
What?
Are you going to say, should that factor in?
Should factor in that he was an alternate.
No.
Because they're going to sit down and they go, 8-time Pro Bowl or whatever it is, 7 in a row, but he wants an alternate.
Pro Bowl shouldn't even be a consideration.
I completely agree with you. When there's so many of those factors in there, I completely agree with you.
Drake May's in this year's Pro Bowl.
I know. And you want to know who isn't? Patrick Mahomes.
Mac Jones made the Pro Bowl as rookie.
I know. It's just because it's all a bunch of guys that don't want to actually go, and then you get the Super Bowl mix in. But that's where it's going to be. I'm going to have all eyes on that Senior Bowl, see if Jalen Milroe can turn things around just a little bit. You already got guys opting out of the game, too, like that Shamar Stewart at Texas A&M. He had a killer week, and he goes, I'm done. I'm going to walk away. Good call on that. So enjoy the hell out of the weekend. Go Cavs. Get it done. Hopefully they're beating the Hawks right now. And we'll be back for a Thursday edition next week right here.
Real quick, I don't even care if we're going over time.
Yeah.
I real quick want your thoughts on Jim Knowles to Penn State.
Oh, money grab. That's fine.
Why are people so upset?
Because you had somebody willingly say, he almost said, like, you're not good enough. Like, Ohio State, it's the same thing when recruits flip. They get so bothered by that because they take offense to it that people are basically going, oh, Ohio State's not. You don't want to take a pay cut just to stay at the Ohio State University? It's like, no, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, absolutely not.
I just had to know if you were nuts or not, but
no, it's no. Dude, seriously, he wanted the money grab. That's fine. They like that Garani or the safeties coach. He's going to be your new DC. I'll tell you this: college more than anything, I'll take the players over the coaches any day of the week. As long as you're recruiting and Caleb Downs isn't going anywhere, you'll be just fine. He took a money grab and is willingly going to go coach with James Franklin. Better off with Franklin the Turtle is what I would say on that. Go sign up for our app. Big play in Vegas through the 11th of February. 3-night stay at the Bellagio or the Wynn, 2 round-trip airline tickets, and $300 Amex gift card to go. You just got to go download the app. I tweeted it out. You just put your email in, put some information in. You'll be registered to win. Go download the app. As always, appreciate your support right here on Big Play. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.